Now on to our next speaker. It's really with a great pleasure that I'm here to introduce, all the way from Canada, Ken Seitz, the global CEO of Nutrien Ag Solutions. Ken has more than 25 years of global management experience working across more than 60 different countries with a deep background in the ag and mining sectors. He joined Nutrien in 2019 as Executive Vice President and CEO of Potash, leading the world's largest potash producer. Before Ken joined Nutrien, he was the president of one of the world's largest suppliers of potash, and he has extensive experience in global fertiliser marketing and logistics and strong connections within the entire industry. And I'm reliably informed that Ken, when he was at college, was also in a rock band, and that actually helped pay his tuition fees. He may even fill us in on that in his speech, you never know. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in welcoming Ken Seitz.
Well, hello, and I guess given that I was in a rock band, this is a very comfortable setting for me. I should probably say, hello, Ken Bear, or something like that. Thrilled to be here, and obviously very thankful of the invitation to join you today. I couldn't be more pleased to be back in Australia with my colleagues. This is a place that I visited many times, and as a Canadian, it's very easy to visit, and certainly we share many common values and objectives, and we'll talk about some of those things today. Australia is a critical country. It's a critical business for our agriculture industry, and certainly it is a critical place for Nutrien. I would like to add my acknowledgement of the traditional owners of the land and pay my respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging. I'd also like to acknowledge Prime Minister Scott Morrison, who, of course, we just heard from, Minister David Littleproud, who I had the pleasure of spending dinner and sharing a table last night at that very inspiring event. NFF President Fiona Simpson, who, again, was at our table. And hello, Fiona, and lovely to hear from you again this morning. And Tony Marr, CEO of NFF, obviously. And then, of course, we have my colleague from Nutrien Ag Solutions here heading up in-country Managing Director Rob Clayton. And, of course, all of the other dignitaries who join us here today, all the smiling faces. So, my name is Ken Seitz, and I am the President and CEO of Nutrien. As a long-term member of the Australian agriculture industry, we are honored to support this year's NFF conference. It's been a long couple of years full of Zoom meetings and virtual conferences, and we've all had to deal with that. So it's wonderful to meet here in person to discuss how we can continue to carve out a pathway for farmer prosperity, growth as an industry, and do it together. Feeding the planet is at the heart of agriculture's purpose, and I find it to be an incredibly noble undertaking. It's also of vital global importance, as we are all painfully reminded through the current geopolitical landscape. As the world's largest provider of crop inputs and services, we have the privilege of working shoulder to shoulder with farmers in 7 countries across the globe, and that'd be in the US, Canada, Brazil, Argentina, Chile, Uruguay, and of course here in Australia. At Nutrien, we are in a unique position where we have strong footing in global agricultural innovation, research, and science. We also have many boots on the ground on farms and in communities, understanding and safely supporting individual farmers. Those boots on the ground matter because while agriculture is global, farming is, of course, local. How you farm doesn't just differ depending on what hemisphere you live in, but indeed each square meter of the same paddock can require different inputs and management practices to get the best results. As a strong global business, we invest in the programs needed at a global scale, and then through our local agronomy network, we can tailor those solutions to fit the distinctive needs of each individual farm and paddock. In 2021, Nutrien Ag Solutions conducted tens of thousands of soil tests across Australia. That's a lot, but of course, it's what you do with those results that counts. This is where the expertise of our 400 Australian agronomists come to the forefront. The better the data, the more able the farmer is to apply the right product at the right time. And this is about maximizing yields and growing more with less. But it's also about living up to the industry's need to operate in a more sustainable way. I'm going to come back to this shortly, but first, let me tell you a bit about Nutrien, in case that's a name that's new to you. Just as farming is both global and local, so is Nutrien. As an integrated global enterprise, Nutrien has more than 23,000 employees that touch growing regions across both hemispheres. Globally, we are a wholesale company and an agricultural retailer. Nutrien produces and distributes approximately 27 million tons of potash, nitrogen, and phosphate products across the globe. We're also the largest crop protection retailer in the world. I want to pause here to talk about that topic, and it's a topic that's on the mind of every farmer today, both in Australia and across the world, and of course, that topic is fertilizer. Tight global supply and demand balances for all products, in part due to the current geopolitical landscape, have led many fertilizer prices to rise to record levels. We've all seen that. At the same time, grower economics have led to resilient fertilizer demand, and that's true in every corner of the planet as well. Fertilizer is a commodity, and the price, whether up or down, results from broader forces in the global market, just as commodities like wheat and canola experience similar fluctuations. While it's impossible for one company to offset the impacts of the supply disruptions that have taken place, at Nutrien, we are doing everything we can to meet our customers' needs. We recently announced plans to further expand potash production back in Canada this year up to 15 million tons, which is 20% higher than our 2020 production and nearly 1 million tons above our previously announced expectations for this year. We have also announced a second phase of nitrogen expansion projects while also progressing our decarbonization initiatives. Nutrien has many reasons to be optimistic about the future, certainly about the future of Australian agriculture. Our Australian business is a great demonstration of our local approach. We are very proud of the role we play in supporting the Australian economy and are committed to helping the industry grow and prosper. We directly employ around 4,000 Australians in 700 locations and are so proud of our people and our footprint. We know how important it is to invest in the future of agriculture and the agricultural workforce as a whole. And the more people who want to make a life and a career in agriculture is not just good for our business, but for the whole industry. Our local grad program is oversubscribed every year, and we invest hundreds of hours annually in trainee programs for livestock, finance, real estate, and water. We have a long-term view of the success of agriculture in Australia, and we think it's incumbent on organizations like ours to invest in the future leaders of the industry and to do that now. We are a strong supporter of the NFF's Diversity in Agriculture Leadership Program, and of course, the lovely event last night, and it was incredibly inspiring. And we've rolled out our own Women in Leadership Mentoring Program because we crave the new ideas and the energy that new and diverse people will bring to the whole industry. Our people are the most important asset, and through them, we are investing to help grow Australian agriculture. In total, we have invested over 2 billion Australian dollars into the country, pretty similar to Canadian dollars. Digital is a big part of our future. We are making significant investments here in Australia, and our ambition is to enable farmers to manage their operations through account management, weather information, field data, and more. We're also providing flexible finance terms to meet each farmer's unique needs. In addition, as many of you know, we have just invested millions into expanding capacity at our UAN storage facility in Western Australia to help make farmers make the most of every hectare every season. The same objective of helping farmers make the most of every hectare informed our investment into the expansion of our agricultural chemical manufacturing facility, also in Western Australia, quadrupling our volumes in less than 2 years. We also have a formulation facility in Victoria, and our investments have played a major role in helping to stabilize the local supply chain for farmers, even at a time when global supply chains are severely disrupted. These investments are substantial because we are betting on Australian agriculture, and our scale means we can make the big bets with confidence. We have a long history in the market and understand the fundamentals of the industry very clearly and what Australian agriculture is capable of. Global capital has a role to play in helping to unlock the Australian agriculture sector to its fullest capacity, and we are excited to be part of that growth. There is a great opportunity in fertilizer. We see it as one of the key pillars in sustainability and profitability. We know that the world's population is growing and food production must continue to keep pace, which recent global geopolitical events have underscored. However, the historical rate of expansion in global arable land and fertilizer application rates is not sustainable. In other words, we must grow yields faster than we have in the past without proportionally increasing fertilizer use. Historical productivity gains in crops have been driven by input technologies from synthetic fertilizers to the green revolution to biotechnology. Future productivity and sustainability gains will be through advanced analytics, digital agronomy, precision agriculture, biologicals, and sustainable practices that enhance the efficiency of nutrients and boost productivity. These trends could be accelerated by the current agriculture and fertilizer market conditions. We can't be passengers in setting the course of our industry. We all have a critical role in driving the industry forward, and the challenges we face in the next few years and next few decades are all intrinsically linked: profitability, sustainability, and of course, digital adoption. Continuing to develop and enhance new ways to farm sustainably and profitably is the biggest opportunity we have over the next decade. I know Australian agriculture understands this, with the red meat industry setting a target to be carbon neutral by 2030, and the grain sector net zero for agriculture by 2050. It's clear the industry is already moving, and so is Nutrien. With our world's population growing by 80 million people each year, now is the time to act. Nutrien's Feeding the Future plan sets out ambitious 2030 commitments focused on environment and climate action to lead the agriculture industry, including a 30% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions intensity by 2030, along with the goal to enable 30 million sustainable hectares globally. As part of our work to achieve those goals, we launched our industry-leading carbon program in North America in 2020 across more than 100,000 hectares of North American farmland, providing a blueprint to scale up sustainable farming. We are now using those learnings to introduce a similar program in Australia, with a vision to drive additional income stream for farmers and improve outcomes for the environment. More and more, farmers across the globe are turning to the challenge of climate change and turning it into an opportunity for productivity increases, diversified income, and meaningful contribution to positive environmental outcomes. I think there's a huge opportunity here, and it's a huge opportunity for Australia, and I'm excited to see what the next few years will bring. I think it's just a really exciting time. As I mentioned earlier, a life and a career in agriculture is an incredibly honorable endeavor. I'm from a farm myself, with the most important piece being our commitment to the people and communities in which we operate. We're proud to invest in our local communities by partnering with and supporting grassroots organizations that are the lifeblood of country towns. Australia is more than a place to do business. For us, it's been our home for more than 180 years. Our commitment is to agriculture and Australian farmers. We are very mindful of that commitment, especially during a drought. As many experience some of the toughest seasonal conditions on record at the end of the last decade, we stood by our customers and we remained steadfast in financing and supporting them when they needed us the most. While drought is a heartbreaking experience, I firmly believe that these challenges drive change. They drive change and innovation to build resilience for when tough times come again, and as we all know in this industry, they inevitably will. Just as the industry evolves, so does Nutrien. We are a modern company, and innovation and a humble desire to support our grower customers is embedded into everything we do. Although we have a long way to go, one of the ways agribusiness is progressing is by being more inclusive. Today, the majority of graduates coming out of agriculture science degree programs at Australian universities are women. These should be the next leaders of the Australian agriculture industry, and yet, in our sector, only 19% of leadership roles are held by women. It's not good enough, and we are determined to do better. At Nutrien, we have set a global target of 35% women in senior roles. Because if we want to attract a new generation, we need to understand and incorporate their expectations of what a modern, inclusive workplace looks like. It's a pivotal time in our industry, and there is a lot to do, with many exciting and challenging times ahead. And we hope you'll join us on our journey to transform the agriculture industry, and we look forward to what we can accomplish together. Thank you, and please stay safe all.